This is WWE and ECW alumni, the Blue Meanie, and you're listening to PCW.
The question is, are you ready? Let me talk to you. I will give you a show like you have never, ever seen before. Why? Because I can. What do you guys want to talk about? I am that damn good.
I am the B-E-S-T.
In the color red, in a world full of black and white, I am the eater of worlds. Yeah, if you're some acknowledge me. The champ is here. But to be the man, you gotta beat the man. And I'm saying, woo, right here. Hey, yo. The best there is, the best there was, and the best there ever will be.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, welcome back to another episode of PCW, Podcast Championship Wrestling. My name is Wayne, your host, also known as Semi-Dry Chicken. Different episode today. Different vibe, different feeling to bring to the table. Different type of fucking energy I'm bringing to this episode. We're going to talk about Smackdown. We're going to talk about Raw. This is unusual for us because we normally talk about the pay-per-views. But we got 6 fucking weeks to go. So with that said, let me bring in who had time to come in between those 6 weeks and want to talk some wrestling. Let me bring him in. Hope that Dre, welcome back.
Yo, what it do, PCW crew?
Alright. Oh man, you can already tell how I'm feeling. Just the energy I'm bringing today. This is not the norm.
Yeah, apparently you got something you need to get off your chest, huh?
I do. And it's you know what? Let's bring him out. He's got to listen to this too.
Voices in my head, they counsel me, they understand, they talk to me. You got your rules and your religion, all designed to keep you safe. But when rules start getting...
Tyler Foster! What's up?
What is going on, gentlemen? Thank you for having me tonight.
Gentlemen, make fucking logic. Explain logic here to me. Randy Orton pins Cody Rhodes at the Elimination Chamber to earn a shot at the WWE Championship. And not only that, some of those guys had to qualify, didn't they, to get into that chamber, if I recall? Oh, I'm going in hot,
quite a few Yeah.
I'm going in hot. We're going right to it. I'm not even going to talk about it. We're not even going to ease into it. We're going right fucking into it. So, to earn his shot at the WWE title, but Cody, the guy who got pinned, ended up getting the title match before Orton, and now Cody is walking into WrestleMania as champion. In other words, Orton beats Cody to earn a title shot, but Cody gets a title shot first and wins. Am I missing something here, or does this make absolutely no fucking sense? I didn't even... Dude, honestly, I watched SmackDown all the way up to that match, and then I just shut it off. Why? Because I know what's going to happen. I know so there was going to be some sort of shenanigans with Jacob Fatu. I just didn't know on what end. Like, was he going to screw Cody over and now we're going to get a triple threat? But I was like, you know what? Nah, they're giving it to Cody. So yeah, I wasn't, dude. I was fucking pissed. But you know what, Dre? I did see one of your comments on Facebook that kind of gave me like a silver lining, right? Y'all mad about him losing it in what, 6 weeks? Is that what you said?
Yeah, like people. My thing is, well, we already talked last episode about why Cody was getting the title shot in the first place. Drew did it to himself by getting involved in the Elimination Chamber. If he'd have just minded his damn business, he wouldn't have had to defend the title against Cody. So, as far as it making sense, yeah, it does make sense. It's punishment for him getting involved in some shit he ain't have to get involved in. He screwed Cody out of it. He's been trying to duck and avoid Cody at all costs since he got the belt. So Nick Aldis punished him and said, all right, you cost Cody a shot, you screwed over Cody, you're going to have to defend it against Cody. And he couldn't, do what it takes to keep the belt. That's on him. That's the storyline standpoint. Makes total sense. Non-storyline wise, Drew's about to go film Highlander. So yeah, he's going to be away from the company for a while. That's why they took the belt off of him. That being said, everybody getting triggered about this, and they're being all upset about, oh man, Cody came again. Tony, put the title back on Cody. We're taking Cody. We're taking Cody as champion.
That sounds like
I'm willing to bet money that Cody is not going to be champion coming out of WrestleMania,
right?
Because they've been making a big deal about Randy's quest for 15. Now that Cena's retired, Cena did the never seen 17 thing. Now it's Randy and his twilight chasing his title run or his championships.
Right.
So the storyline is going to be him going for 15, and my guess is that Cody is basically going to be a placeholder and drop the title to Randy at Mania, and Randy will walk out 15-time champion. Also, we know how the ticket sales have been and how they've been struggling with that. They need blockbuster stuff to try to push these last bit of tickets that haven't been selling. And people we've wanted Cody versus Randy for how long?
Have we though?
The way we got here may not have been the most ideal,
yeah.
But now they at least got 6 weeks to make a compelling storyline out of it, now that we're here. So everybody can just relax. He's just going to be the champ for now. He's going to lose it. I would put money on him losing at WrestleMania. That felt like some Aaron Rodgers type shit right there. Like, just relax. Just relax. RELAX. Relax.
God. Dude. So,
I
would
agree with you, Dre, because, yes, storyline makes sense. Realistically, from the fan point of view, not happy about it. I think as far as like what you're saying with like needing a blockbuster match for WrestleMania, I don't think that this is as big as McIntyre versus Orton would have been. I think we could have had Rhodes versus Orton any number of times and on any other pay-per-view, and it would have worked better for those pay-per-views that lacked. I don't know that it's WrestleMania caliber. It'll still be awesome because I do agree that Randy Orton walks out, champion, and it'll be awesome for him to kick off that run on the grandest stage of them all. But versus Rhodes, I don't know that it's going to have the pop as that defeating McIntyre would have had. I wasn't one thing I do like out of all of this is that this title is changing hands on television. You're not waiting so many weeks for a PLE or you're not having to pay up so many, tens of dollars or whatever the ridiculous prices are to see it happen. You can see it happen on TV. That is one thing that I do like. But who it's going to, I'm not wild about. So overall, I do agree that Orton comes out champion, and how we get there though is just it's quite a bumpy ride.
So
an unpleasing bumpy ride.
So
you really think Orton versus Cody's is not a WrestleMania caliber match with all the history that they have with each other?
Because of the Cody fatigue. You know what I mean? Like everybody, to your point earlier, like, oh, we're sick and tired of seeing Cody be champion, and you win it, you lose it so many weeks later, and that part is what has me thinking that this isn't going to be as big as McIntyre versus Orton would have been.
I get what you're saying, and I guess that could come from the fact that it doesn't have that instant hype, because we did get here in a bit of a begrudging way.
Two faces, yeah.
As opposed to, had this happen where, Randy had turned heel on Cody first, which then whet the appetite for fans to see the match, and then they announced it at WrestleMania. Or if Cody had turned on Randy first, and we had that classic heel face dynamic,
right,
to whet the appetite for the match, then give it to us at WrestleMania, then it might have more anticipation behind it, as opposed to where it's like, oh, this just kind of happened.
Yeah.
And also piss off fans in the process. Like I said, I think that's where the 6 weeks will come into play, because while the hype isn't there now because of how we got here, they have 6 weeks to build up the hype for the match, and and give us maybe that heel face dynamic, perhaps based on the reactions. But we'll see how it goes. But they got 6 weeks to cook.
So Tyler, you mentioned about the title being switched on SmackDown. So the WWE title has been changed on SmackDown 6 times now. Can you guys name the other 5? I can give you years if you want, but can you name any of the people that may have won the title?
You gonna have to give some years, because
All right, let's go with 1999. First one. It was
1999 SmackDown. So that would have been early. That's
a corporate figure.
I'm guessing that's
figure.
I was gonna say probably Triple H winning the title. I'm thinking off of
close, but no.
What, Triple H becoming champion?
You're in the family, but no.
Shane.
No, Shane's never won the WWE title.
Really?
1999. Wouldn't are we? You say corporate? Are we thinking corporate ministry or just corporation?
No, corporate. It's Vince McMahon. I don't know how many more.
I was gonna say that's the only other option.
Yeah,
I'll say one Triple H. It had to have been Vince then, or it would have been Undertaker if we were talking corporate ministry.
Yeah. This man has done it twice. Actually, so it's been more than 6. This man has done it twice. Once in 2003 and once in 2019.
Ooh,
yeah. I recall this now. I think the 2003, I believe it was an Iron Man match. I think.
Lesnar.
There you go, Lesnar. I can't remember who he beat in 2019.
2003 would have been the Iron Man match. Yeah, that was him versus Kurt Angle.
Yeah.
Iron Man match. Kurt was the champion and Lesnar beat him.
I can't remember who he faced in 2019.
That's probably the only motherfucker who would have been in WWE that long. Either Lesnar or Cena. And Cena didn't become champion until, 2005?
Yeah.
Now, the next 2 we have are one's in 2017, one's in 2018. One of these guys is retired. The other guy is... I thought he was in AEW, but he could be retired as well. I think he's retired.
Well, then you're talking about Cena and Edge, maybe.
Yeah, that one definitely... One of those definitely feels like Edge.
Nope.
And one's definitely Cena.
Nope.
No to both or no to Cena?
No to both.
Wow.
Not seeing a word.
I'll give you a hint. One of them recently retired. And
AJ Styles.
AJ Styles in 2017. Now this one in 2018, I will say yes.
Daniel Bryan.
Daniel Bryan.
That's surprising.
How did we not get...
No, because Edge wasn't in the company in 2017 or 18.
Mm-hmm. How did we not get Daniel Bryan versus AJ Styles before they left and he went to AEW? Or, no, he had to retire because of his neck. That's right. Then he went to AEW.
Yeah.
What a missed opportunity. 2026. This should be pretty easy.
Cody Rhodes and Drew McIntyre.
Drew McIntyre and Cody Rhodes, yeah. So, some other stats I wanted to bring here. So, I just had it. Cody Rhodes has held the title 3 times, right? His title reigns, though. Damn, I just had it. Wait,
I feel like combined, they're either, I'm going to give or take a month, around a year-long title reign.
No, like, okay, hold on. I had it. It was only like because he's a 3-time champion. Oh wait, here it is. Duh. 378 days for his first title reign and 159 for the second. Now we talked about Drew McIntyre. Drew McIntyre is a 4-time champion. His first time after he defeated Brock Lesnar, he held it for 214 days. That was during the pandemic, And me personally, I thought then that's when Drew kind of held the pandemic together. Him and Bayley, they were the 2 champs at the time. Yeah. And then after that, he became 2-time WWE champion after he defeated Randy Orton for champion, and he was champion for 97 days. So that does have some history there, like I've beaten you before for the title, and I'm gonna, I don't know. And then he won his first World Heavyweight title, defeating Seth Rollins, and he only held it for 5 minutes 48 seconds. Because remember the cash in,
CM Punk, Damian Priest,
and then talking shit.
3-time WWE champion, defeated Cody Rhodes, and he held the title for only 56 days. So, I mean,
so Drew McIntyre screwed himself out of his last 2 title reigns.
Right, but like I hope this isn't like a continuation with Drew with these short title reigns, because like just any wrestler who builds up a bunch of short title reigns, I don't know, man. Like before you know it, now Cody and Drew are surpassing The Rock and surpassing Stone Cold Steve Austin and The Undertaker and you know what I mean?
Triple
then
H
they're crawling up right behind Triple H, and I understand clock's ticking with a lot of these guys, and I know their careers are winding down. They could be like any moment, but are we really just flip-flopping titles, between 2 guys? I guess is this because we've had a long Roman Reigns title run that this is refreshing, I guess, because we had 1,316 days of the title never going anywhere. So I guess,
That's a good point. I mean,
could be some of that, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, also, given that we've got 2 belts right now, they kind of need to balance it out. If one person's going to be holding the title for possibly an extended period of time, then the other one should probably be moved. Should probably change hands with a little bit more frequency, because we don't want to end up in a situation where both titles are hot potatoing all over the place, but we also don't want to end up with 2 people just monopolizing the belts and holding them for extended periods of time.
Absolutely.
I don't think either one of those could be really interesting. Although we might end up in that very scenario post-Mania, given how these matches are going, because I think both titles are going to change hands.
Ooh. Well, I was just gonna say, based off of like that read right there on like long-term champion frequently changing. I was gonna say, couldn't we use that then as a metric for WrestleMania and predictions to say that CM Punk beats Roman Reigns and continues his title run, and we walk out, Orton walks out with the title, and then, 2, 3, 4, 5 months down the road, loses it, they keep that one changing, or vice versa. Well, no, vice versa wouldn't work, because then that means Cody Rhodes retains and CM Punk loses. Huh.
Like I said, I think both titles will change hands, and maybe one of them will hold it till SummerSlam. One of them may retain it past SummerSlam. If I had to guess, I would say Roman probably is the one who holds it up to SummerSlam before losing to somebody else. And then I think Randy, I could see him holding it past SummerSlam. I could see Randy Orton getting a bit of an extended run here, at least through into the fall.
Right.
I could see him holding that WWE title.
Go ahead.
I was because with him as champion, other than Cody, aside, not factoring any type of roster switch up or draft or anything post Mania, but with Randy as champion, there really isn't too many people that can challenge him other than Cody. So there wouldn't be much reason for them to take the title off him quickly. They're gonna have to build somebody up for SummerSlam to challenge him for obviously that show, but I don't know that they're going to build up somebody to defeat him and become a new champion.
The past few weeks, I think I'm deeming before Friday, I'm going to call it BC, before Cody, and then it's going to be AD after Danhausen. So,
Oh boy,
God. Let's move along here. We can talk about Cody, and then we got 6 weeks to talk about those fucks. You know what? I'm gonna play. I'm gonna pepper this in. I'm gonna pepper this in. I come across these I was telling these guys off air on social media. You see these. You guys may have even caught them yourself. They're pictures, and it'll just show titles, right? And with those, you kind of have to guess who's had all these titles, and they kind of lay them out in numbers. They also do achievements like the Royal Rumble, that includes the Money in the Bank, King of the Ring, even other companies. So I have 2 of them. I want to run them by you guys. Let's see who you guys think they are. We'll start with the first one. This gentleman, we're going to say it's gentleman. That's the first hint I'll give you. And if you guys can figure out any time, just blur it out. This man has held the WWF title twice. He's held the WWF Undisputed title twice. He's had the World title twice.
Undertaker.
Nope. He's held the European and Intercontinental and Hardcore title. He's also held the United States title.
feels like Jericho.
Nope. This is where it's going to get a lot easier for you guys. Okay? So, he is a WWE Hall of Famer. He is a former WWE Smackdown Tag Team Champion. He's a former IWGP Heavyweight Champion. Now we're going to get out of the company. Kurt Angle. I was going to start saying his TNA 6-time TNA World Champion, 2-time Tag Team Champion, and he was a TNA X Division Champion. Talk about a guy who had just as good, if not better, career in TNA than he did in WWE. Like, what a if you look at Kurt Angle's wrestling career as a whole, not just WWE, goddamn, that man has accomplished a lot.
Jeez.
Oh yeah.
Wait,
that's why he's one of the best to ever do it.
Yeah, I mean, when you look at these pictures and you see those belts all laid out, there's not just numbers sitting there, and I like seeing them like that. Like, it's like, holy shit! Like, and they're different. They're most of those titles are different. Like, they change. So I always think it's cool. You're not winning the same. Cody Rhodes title over and over again. You know, you're winning like the different designs and whatnot, different iterations of the title. But all right,
the one that threw me off was the Hardcore Championship.
Right? I don't recall. I can't remember when he was hardcore. If Doyle was here, I bet Doyle would probably know. You know. But
yeah, that was the one that like I wouldn't have thought Kurt Angle at all.
You guys want to do another one?
My second guess would have been like Mick Foley.
Oh, really?
You know,
Except Mick
but then
Foley was never- the European Championship is what made me rule out Mick Foley.
well, Undisputed is what got me on that one.
Oh yeah, that too.
All right. Nice. I got one more for you guys. This is exciting. I might try to figure out a way I can like format these better. Or did I just accidentally delete it? Oh, no. Next episode. Anyway, you know what I want to move on to? Actually, maybe I should just carry one of those per episode. You know what? Let's move on to our bracket. We got time. We got time to move on to the fantasy bracket. We're on the next round. Flipping pages here. I know it's been a while since we've been to the fantasy bracket. I was going to bring it up last episode, and I was kind of thinking about it, and I was like, you know what? I should probably save it for the 6 fucking weeks that we have, right? That's all we got is time. Oh, here it is. Yeah. I knew it was a couple pages back. Last time we discussed Dean Ambrose, or John Moxley versus Mick Foley, or Shawn Michaels versus Seth Rollins, and we ended up coming out with John Moxley versus Mick Foley. Now, baby. All right, Bret Hart versus Edge, 2 Canadians. Versus,
that's a good one.
Versus Bret Hart versus Kurt Angle.
Oh,
so we got.
It could be Bret versus Kurt Angle all fucking day.
Really? That quick?
Yeah,
Bret versus Kurt?
Hell yeah, that's not even close. Yeah, Bret versus Kurt Angle in the ring would cook. Bret versus Edge would be a good match, but
yeah.
Ultimately, that's what this is going to come down to. Which one's the better match? And that's easily Bret versus Kurt Angle.
Tyler, you agree? Bret versus
Bret
Kurt?
talks about being the best, the best there is, best there was, and best there ever will be. And Kurt Angle will be like, well, I have something to say about that.
Right.
Man, there's a part of me that wants to agree with you so bad. Mm-hmm. But I mean to make this difficult for Wayne. Unfortunately, I would much rather watch Edge, and I don't know if it's like favoritism. I like Edge way more than I like Kurt Angle. Like there's no comparison. I understand that Kurt Angle has had a very prolific career, and we were just touching it on earlier. Just trying to, I can't. I just can't. I don't know. I feel like Bret and Edge would be like a way better match. Like as far as a promo, I will agree with you. As far as like promos go, I think they would both cut excellent promos. I'm not saying that Edge isn't on the same level as Kurt, but when it comes down to wrestling, I just feel like, you know what? I'm gonna drop it. I'm gonna go Bret and Kurt.
Man, sweep it.
No way you can think Bret and Edge would have a better in-ring.
I mean, dude, not in ring, but on the mic, and maybe the build to it, maybe they could do something. I'm the better Canadian wrestler.
I would give the edge.
Right.
Yeah, but I say now that I would give the proverbial edge to Bret and Edge.
Yeah.
The build up, I think they could do better because
right.
Face or heel, both of them are phenomenal at. Kurt Angle is as well, but Kurt has a bit of a comedic twist to it.
Right.
To what he does.
I mean, think about it.
In his heel work.
Edge as a heel right? Going around just spearing everybody in the Hart Foundation. Just taking them out 1 week at a time. Just fucking out of nowhere. Oh, my God. Natalia's been broken in half. Why Natalia? Because I said so. I had so many other Hart members to pick from. But,
Yeah.
I mean, think about it. Like,
You could counter that with Kurt Angle putting her in an ankle lock right in front of Bret.
oh, yeah. I'm not...
He would do it, too.
So I'm thinking, like, you know, Edge as a heel would be great against Bret as a face. You know, like, yeah, the promos would be great. You know, I'm the better Canadian wrestler, you know, and I'm going to prove it. But, you know, the build up
America
as
versus
well
Canada.
for Bret versus Kurt versus Bret is, yeah, America versus Canada. Like, Bret as the face and Kurt as the fucking heel. Like, Perk Kurt. You know, just
or even if Bret wanted to play the heel.
Oh yeah, dude, like Canadian be the bad guys.
Yeah, like he's in America, he's in
yeah.
the States, and he's tearing down the country, and then Kurt Angle's music hits.
Oh yeah, dude, it works either way. Well, it depends where the wait, hold on, wait, where's the pay-per-view booked?
Ooh,
that right? If you have it in America. Or, you know, but if you have it in Ontario, Canada, that's a different fucking story.
Yeah, but see, that gives you versatility, though, depending on how you want to play it. If you say, all right, we're going to do it at this PLE in Canada, then you can paint Bret as the face and make Kurt be the heel. And let him do a bunch of devious shit, like putting Natty in an ankle lock in front of, you know, Bret or some shit. Or, hell, Kurt will put fucking Stu in an ankle lock in front of Bret. And just do some shit like that and really heal it up so that way he's got nuclear heat going into Canada. Or you could completely flip it and do the opposite. And have Bret just tearing down the USA, and then Kurt's music hits. Like,
Bloody brilliant.
Infinite options.
Bloody brilliant.
I feel like Edge and Bret, you have options there, but it could be, you know, teacher-student thing, or it could just be douchebag heel versus white bread babyface. For my money, I just think Kurt and Bret have you way more entertaining options.
I agree. It's a sweep. It's a sweep.
Although a concerto to Natty though would be like, like gobstopping. You know what I mean? Like,
oh my God!
Like
you killed her! You killed her! You sick son of a bitch! Just, I can hear JR.
Everybody would be hands on the head. Oh my God, face! Like, did he really just do that? Yeah, he really just did that because it's Edge, and that's just Edge shit right there.
There's so many different stables that Edge has been a part of, but also
now, if you could give me,
sorry, like
if you could give me Edge and Christian versus Bret and Owen, then you would have something special.
Fuck, man.
I could see that. Yeah.
Damn, I should have booked that. We should have booked that in the fantasy. Where the fuck were you when I was asking for fucking fantasy matches, bro? What the fuck? We could have had that one a long time, dude. That's a good one. Oh, you know what? Maybe then after we finish this bracket, we should do a tag team bracket.
I was gonna say, are you gonna find a way to Cody Rhodes this match in there?
No, dude. No, I'm not.
Okay.
No. I think after, because we're on the second round, you know, the second wave. I think after this bracket, we should, because we're mostly doing singles matches, if not all of them. I think they're all singles matches. But I think after this, I think we should do a tag team, and then and then maybe we'll do a women's, you know, and then we'll do like I don't know. We'll figure it out. Maybe we'll do a stable bracket. We'll have stables versus each other. It'll be intense. We'll break it. It'll be intense.
There's so many options.
It'll be in the wrestling ring, but it'll still be intense.
I see what you did there.
Yes. Dude, I want to run some crazy stuff by you guys. Some stats. But I want to get into the Judgment Day breaking up. The Judgment Day, which for the record, we can all attest to it, whether you have listened to many episodes, whether you've been on we've talked about since 2022 the Bloodline, not the Bloodline, the Judgment Day. Just, I think they're gonna break up. I think this is the end of the Judgment Day. There's many times where I thought the whole thing was gonna fail. From the early days with Edge and Rhea and Damian Priest, and we had I think they started Magic. They were doing Undertaker type Magic, and
they had some mystical element to it.
Mystical elements, yes. And I don't. It was one of them who didn't. Was it Edge who didn't agree, or that didn't agree with or wanted it? And I guess I don't know. There was a disagreement, and that's why Edge was kicked out so early. Some sort of disagreement with the angle of Judgment Day, and I just wonder, like, what would have been if he would have stayed. Like, would Rhea be where she is? She kind of made it on her own. Made her own strengths within that faction.
I think Edge getting kicked out was probably the best thing that happened to that faction.
It probably was, dude. I mean, all these guys are former, Damian Priest, former world champion, Rhea, former multiple women's world champion, Finn Balor, but he was also a former Universal, but he won the tag team title several times, which I guess is something he really didn't do a lot of when he was doing a single run. Even though there was only one member of the Balor Club. It's hard to get tag team titles when there's only one member of the Balor Club.
Can you really call it a club, though, if there's only one person?
But he does call it a club. But now he can be back in the Balor Club. Does this mean the Balor Club's open for business? Yeah, you know what? Regardless where Judgment Day goes from here on out, it's been successful. Whoever's entered it, they've gotten gold. Everybody has gotten gold. And whether it's tag team, whether it's the IC title, or a AAA title, even. I'm not 100% certain, but did Dirty Dom hold the North American title for a very brief time, or am I?
Yes, he did.
Dreaming? No, that he did.
Yeah, that was I would say in his early days of the Judgment Day, when he was still kind of feuding with Ray. Yeah,
they found a way. It was a stretch, but they found a way to put the North American title on him for a short time. But Finn's.
I think wasn't that when they for a brief, everybody in the Judgment Day had gold. Dane was world champion. Rhea was women's world champion. I think Finn and JD were tag champions.
Yep.
And Dom was North American champion.
I think it was Finn and Damian that had the championships, and then
they might have been tag team champions.
Damian also had the Money in the Bank.
Mm-hmm.
And then Dominic lost the North American, whined and bitched about it, got another shot, and got it back.
Right. Yeah, you're right. It was during their tag title and Money in the Bank run.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I just can't believe how much has happened since Judgment Day has been together. Judgment Day is a long-running faction. Don't get me wrong. There's other longer-running factions. The New Day at 3,769 plus days. The Wyatt family technically at 1,353. The Shield was at 1,192 days. The Bloodline 1,200 plus days and still going strong. So we have stables. I mean, the Bloodline started in 2022, right? I'm just going to read some key points that took over throughout these years. How much has changed, but yet this faction stayed together. And many times I thought the way this company was going up and down and with storylines throughout the year, I thought there's no place for Judgment Day. And they found a way. Roman Reigns becomes the undisputed champion at WrestleMania 38. This is 2022. The Bloodline era begins. Triple H takes over as WWE Creative. We get Clash at the Castle. with Roman Reigns defeats Drew McIntyre. We had Solo Sikoa debut. 2023, we had Sami Zayn turn on Roman Reigns at the Rumble. It's one of the loudest crowd reactions in years when Sami hit Roman with the chair. Kevin and Sami win the tag team titles. Seth Rollins becomes world champion. CM Punk returns in Survivor Series 2023 after being away for almost 10 years. 2024, Cody Rhodes finishes the story. 2024 Royal Rumble, massive event, nearly 48,000 fans in Tampa, continuing the road to WrestleMania. International events grow. We have Clash at the Castle in Scotland, Glasgow. Huge records in 2025. John Cena wins his 17th world title. WrestleMania 41 becomes WWE's most successful event, drawing over 124,000 fans in 2 nights. And you know, I could go on and on. Those are just huge details, but all that and not the Bloodline, the Judgment Day still stand. Sorry.
2 points, real quick.
Go ahead.
I'm sorry, but if Cody Rhodes, first and foremost, if Cody Rhodes finished the story, he'd have retired. Mm-hmm. So the story's not done; it's still, ongoing, and that's just not to like counter what you're saying. It's just to counter what he is saying. I finally finished the story, and no.
Oh well,
you're still wrestling, you're still winning championship. So like the story's not done because you're still doing something.
Well, The Rock and John Cena was also booked for once in a lifetime.
True, I'll give you that. Second point, and I just thought about this as you were talking about the Judgment Day earlier, is, and I think we alluded to it one day on the way to work or on the way back from work in the car, was the Judgment Day is, I will give credit one thing, they are constantly evolving.
Yeah.
And during this recent evolution, it just dawned on me that there are no original members. Because you think about it, you had Edge, Rhea, Damian, and Finn were, I would say, supposed to be like the 4 horsemen or whatever, or the 4 founders of the Judgment Day. Now that Finn is out, there are no original members.
I'm curious to know what happens with Roxanne Perez when she comes back. She's gonna come back and be like, what the fuck happened? What the fuck? Like, where does she stand in this? And let's not forget other members of the Judgment Day who, might not do so well on their own, and that would be JD McDonough. What do we do with him? Because I don't see this man having a mid-card title run. I'm sorry, I just don't see it. I think you got to put more dudes in that Judgment Day stable. Is this? I think we're leaning towards the end of Judgment Day as a whole, to be honest, because I think everybody in Judgment Day can stand on their own 2 feet. I think Liv going into the world title, gets her out of the picture quickly, separate her from Dirty Dom. Raquel, we've been discussing, has been doing fucking great the past few months, the way they've been booking her.
Right.
And just where I scratched my chin, like stroke my beard, like where does JD McDonough fit in all of this? Everybody's going somewhere. Where is he going? Where is that big head going?
Well, couldn't you make the same point for Damien? Dominic, though. I keep saying Damien.
I think
because if he goes into this AAA championship match and loses to Vikingo, I think his name is. Mm-hmm. Because he seems to be like on a little bit of a downward spiral, and if it continues, and it is so, does he have we know he has the heat as far as a heel, but can he regain face momentum and stand on his own 2 feet post Judgment Day?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't know, man. We're just gonna have to wait and see. Like, sink or swim, right?
Yeah.
He's gonna have to align himself with somebody. I think him. I thought him and Finn were a pretty good tag team. I was like, damn, we're gonna separate these two. All right, okay. I guess we got bigger plans. But, okay. You know what? I did bring up. We have enough to do a old members of, the Judgment Day versus the new members of the Judgment Day. Hey, you need more bodies? Bring back Carlito. You got R-Truth. Don't forget, they're also members of the Judgment Day.
I did bring that up the other day.
I was like, they could bring back R-Truth and Carlito if they need to. Yeah.
Wouldn't R-Truth be an honorary Judgment Day member the same way Sami Zayn was an honorary Uce to the Bloodline?
Hey, man. There's no honorary Uce. He was a full-blown Uce. Bloodline member for life. I recall Roman Reigns giving him that, right?
I might have missed that episode.
I don't know. No original members that left in Judgment Day. Crazy. Let's get into you guys want to get into SmackDown? There's only yes. I kind of catch up late on SmackDown, and then kind of like with Raw, like I watch Raw the next day. I'm kind of like, well, as long as I get SmackDown done before Monday. There's only 5 matches, which isn't bad because I know Raw had way less matches. Carmelo Hayes defeated. I am gonna butcher this fucking name. You know what? I'm gonna say Dr. Wagner Jr. You know what? I don't know who it is. Is a AAA wrestler.
El Hijo del Dr. Wagner.
Wait, what was that?
El Hijo. Hijo.
Okay.
El Hijo.
You can tell my Spanish is so bad. If I'm in anywhere down south where they're speaking Spanish, I am lost. I would not do well.
Kind of surprising considering where we work.
I know. He retained the United States title though, Carmelo Hayes. So we got Carmelo heading. I'm assuming, hopefully, he holds on to it till WrestleMania, unless they plan on swapping the U.S. title with somebody before Mania. I don't see that happening. Fantasy booking here. You know who I would like to see Carmelo Hayes face at WrestleMania? Trick Williams. That tickle anybody's fancy? Anybody?
I already saw it in NXT.
Watching Trick Williams get beat?
You really think so? I mean, I know we saw it in NXT, but you don't want to run it back even at this point in their career?
Well, not at this point yet, no. For one, their match in NXT had a whole lot of build-up and hype to it. It was actually, I think it was part of Stand to Deliver for WrestleMania 40, if I'm not mistaken.
Right.
That weekend. So, if they put it on for WrestleMania weekend, it was a big deal. The match itself did not quite deliver the way people had wanted it to for the level of hype that it had.
Right.
Now, granted, been a few years. Obviously, the two are more experienced and could possibly pull off a better match. But the other issue with doing it right now is that right now Carmelo is a face. And it seems like they are trying to maintain Trick Williams as a heel based upon what they did Friday.
Mm-hmm.
But to me, that's incredibly dumb and doesn't make much sense given the reaction that he's getting.
Right.
So, inevitably, they're going to have to turn Trick Williams' face. They can try to fight against it all they want to. The reactions are the reactions. And I think if you try to still force him into a heel status, you're hurting him. Instead of going with what the crowd clearly wants in this case. Not saying you should always listen to the crowd, but when a guy is clearly over as hell as a face, Why would you go against that? So having them two as face on face go against each other for the U.S. title, I don't see where the story's at. So right now, at some point, yes, I do want to see Trick and Mello mix it up on the main roster, but not right now. Right now, I think it's a little too soon, and I don't see the story there, and then neither one of them are really in that type of position.
Could you imagine?
Should get a featured match at WrestleMania, obviously, given how over he is.
That's what I was going to say. I mean, imagine his entrance at WrestleMania. I don't care who he faces, but I just want to see him at Mania. Like, that crowd's going to be so over, dude.
Oh, yeah. And I've said that they should have Booker T on the mic at WrestleMania with him.
Yes.
Some ad-libs.
Yep.
I think Booker T should introduce him. Like, Booker T should come out first with the mic in his hand and do something, give it up for that man, Drake Willie. And then his music hits, and then everybody chanting, and Booker T got the mic in his hand, in the ad-libs with it. That's how I would do his entrance if it were me, but...
Oh, not this one?
Here we go, baby. One more time.
No Discord blocks music, man. I didn't hear a word, anything of that.
Oh,
all
no.
I heard was Booker T's, yeah!
Fucking Booker T.
That's all I heard.
Sorry. Damn Discord. Anyway. Talking about SmackDown. We also got Alexa Bliss and Charlotte defeating Julia and Kiana James. Julia, United States champion. What? Where are we going with that? Especially towards WrestleMania. I mean, they're competing. Kiana was competing in the Elimination Chamber the other week for, a title match at WrestleMania. Julia, I don't think she has any competitors lined up for WrestleMania, but now they're both competing for a tag team match against the new champions. Is it the Irresistible? What is their tag team? Nia and
Force.
Yeah, and Lash Legend, Irresistible Force. All right,
Yeah.
I'm all for it.
I
mean, Nia's been paired up with many tag team partners in the past. Alexa Bliss, Tamina. Who else? Shayna Baszler. I'm trying to think who else they pair. They pair her with. Yeah. They pair her with everybody. Maybe this will work out.
Well, she's doing good with the ones. I mean, they're doing a good job with certain stars that they're bringing up from NXT and pairing them up with Nia Jax. Like, it worked out well for Tiffany.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, that's right, Tiffany. Lash. It does. Yeah, it does work out for everybody. It's just, how long until this well, I know at least they're doing something in the tag division. I mean, going into WrestleMania makes me think they're going to lose their tag titles to probably Charlotte and Alexa.
I don't think so.
You don't think so? Ooh. We'll see how the weeks progress.
I certainly hope not, because Nia and Lash are working pretty well.
Yeah, they will for 6 weeks, just like Cody. Then they're going to lose it.
I don't think so. Because honestly, I still don't think that match is just going to be those two involved in it.
Mm-hmm.
I think we still may get other teams added to that match.
Like a triple threat or a fatal four-way.
Oh, I would hope so, to be honest.
Tag match.
To get other women on the card. Because, there's so many other women that are on standby that, let's get them on the fucking card. And if it's to do a tag team, big match, and so be it, man.
Yeah. I mean, you put all this work into building up this tag team division by putting all these top names in tag teams in it. It would be a waste to do all that just to only have Nia and Lash versus Charlotte and Alexa at WrestleMania.
Right.
I'm not saying you got to throw all the teams in it.
No. The best.
There should be some type of multi-woman match.
Mm-hmm.
Again, if I were the one booking it, I would book the first ever women's TLC. I don't know if there's ever been a women's TLC match, but if there hasn't, we about to have the first at WrestleMania 42.
Right.
Listen, if they haven't done one at either of the Evolution pay-per-views, or PLEs, I'm sorry, I think that was a missed opportunity. To your point.
I don't think they have. They definitely didn't do it last year.
No, they didn't. In that first one, I think they just did like some kind of a Rumble style event, and then everything else was just defending championships.
I mean, that would be me. I would book the first ever women's TLC match.
I'd be down to watch that.
Yeah, that would be fucking entertaining, because I thought about that for like maybe the IC title possibility, but I was like, you know what? Give it to the women. Give it to the women. We also got poor Johnny Gargano. You know, he said he was going to go out. It's going to be Johnny wrestling again. I got all pumped up, man, thinking Johnny's coming back. Johnny Gargano's not depressed anymore, you know? They're not going to send him to NXT. And then he had an open challenge, and I was like, this could be interesting. Who's he going to face? And Obafemi's music hit. I had never been so happy and yet sad all at the same time. I was so happy that Obafemi came out, but I was so sad for Johnny Gargano. I was like, rest in peace. I'm like, when's your contract up? Because I bet you want to go to AEW. Oh man.
As you were saying, like hyping it up, like for some reason Obafemi just, and I didn't watch SmackDown at all. I'm not gonna lie to you. I did miss that. But as you were saying it, just like Obafemi popped in my head, and I was like, it had to be him. So it makes sense.
Oh yeah, man, totally.
Poor Gargano.
Well, you know, I'll fill
That's
you in on
like-
SmackDown.
That's like when you issue an open challenge, like that's him and Brock Lesnar are probably the last two people you want to see. Maybe Gunther. You know, you're expecting somebody more mid card, maybe lower card, and then you get those three guys.
Well,
as soon as that music hits, you're like, fuck.
Obafemi is still a free agent. They keep calling him a free agent, which I don't understand what that means, man. Does that mean, are you getting paid?
He could be on both shows.
Right, but does that mean you're getting paid at all? Who's paying you? You're a free agent. You got to get drafted to. How many free agents are in the NFL getting paid?
None.
So I don't know. I just don't like when they classify them as a free agent. You know, so you're telling me you had the title in NXT, you were probably getting paid mad money, and then you were like, you know what, I quit. I'm just going to show up to these other companies until I decide to work at one of them or one of these shows. I'm not going to get paid, but I'm going to wrestle though too. I'm going to wrestle, and I don't want them to pay me for it.
Paid by WWE.
I know, it's just silly. I get paid per show, like per appearance. Ooh, maybe he gets paid per appearance. Ooh, like he has his own fee.
And to
the Obafemi fee.
To your point.
I think it'd be a little Go ahead.
Oh, I was just saying, to your point too, like you have Corey Graves on commentary, like, oh, he's going to be here for a good long while. Well, if he's a free agent, and how you know, obviously showing up at both shows, yeah, but like if he decides to go to SmackDown, that kind of defeats what you just stated, and that he's going to be there for a while. You know, it just seemed contradictory to what was the actual situation at hand.
Other highlights.
He's essentially operating like an independent wrestler, but it'd be a little disingenuous for them to call him an indie wrestler when he's obviously not. So,
right,
free agent. It's a bit of splitting hairs, but it's probably the best thing they could go with.
Right. We finally got a face-to-face with Rhea Ripley and Jade Cargill. You know, Jade telling her she saying that she was built better than her. You know, I'm impressed, but what did she say? I'm impressed but disappointed or something like that. Or you know, she goes, I respect you, but I'm not impressed. And I was like, what? But anyway, then she started complimenting her, like, her body, and then, saying that, like, her arms were bigger than her, her, like, she's like, my clit's bigger than yours, oh, wait, no, sorry, wait, no, arms were bigger, her legs were bigger, that's what it was. Yeah, her legs were stronger. That's what it was. Sorry, just
threw me off on the left on that one.
But you know what, though? Seeing them stand side by side, I'm like, ooh, this is going to be a muscle match. This is going to be pretty good. I'm pretty excited for this match. I'm getting a little bit more excited. I think it's because it's getting kind of personal, and I feel like there's going to be some stiffness in this match. Do you guys feel that in any way? Like, it's getting a little personal.
I think it all depends on how Jade and Rhea work things out between each other backstage. Like, if they can both, if they manage to hash things out and come to some sort of understanding, then it could just, work like a regular feud. But if, they can't come to some sort of agreement, or they just settle on, look, let's just get through this, or let's just, remain professional or whatever, but they still have that, subconscious disdain for each other, then yeah, we could see things get a little stiff in that match and get a little rough.
I could agree with that. I know Rhea has a loyalty to Triple H because he took a chance on her and everything, and I'm aware of the history there. So I could see her wanting to keep it professional for him. I'm not saying she wouldn't shy away from throwing a potato here or there Jade's way for the whole Twitter thing, or the X thing. I'm sorry, and however. Whatever's going on, behind the scenes, maybe showing itself a little bit in the match. But I think for the most part, because of that gratefulness and that loyalty, she would keep it professional for that.
Yeah,
maybe I'm wrong. No, go ahead. I was done at that.
Oh, okay. I was going to say, for what it's worth, I think both of them will as well. I think they'll both remain professional and get through it without incident, because last thing that they want is a repeat of Charlotte and Tiffy from last year, where they went off script and things got pretty nasty on the mic between them, and pretty shit went off the rails. So I don't think they definitely don't want a repeat of that, because it was kind of ratchet in a bad way. Things didn't go off in the rails or get, a little dicey in a way that built more interest in the match. It just made them both look bad. Made them both look a little classless. So I don't think they want that for Jade or Rhea. So I believe they're both going to remain professional on the mic. They may write in some extra spice into their, promos or whatever, or their exchanges back and forth, since obviously what happened on Twitter is a thing. I don't care. I'm still calling it Twitter. Fuck X. But since that's still a thing, they may play on that a little bit just to keep the tension up, because again, we got 6 fucking weeks to go. Right. That's going to be the biggest challenge, is keeping that tension up for the next 6 weeks between those two.
Hey, it's going to be interesting. Making their Smackdown debut, Danhausen. Making all these demands, wanted talked about. I think this is where he mentioned who he wants to induct him into the Hall of Fame. And he wants the Undertaker to induct him in the Hall of Fame.
Is he a free agent as well?
I guess so, because then he asked for a mentor. He wanted his own mentor, and they gave him The Miz. And then Danhausen cursed him. So I'm liking this cursing thing. Just going around cursing people. So this kind of reminds me, stuff like, you You just made the list. You know?
Yeah,
It's better than the Kiss My Ass
The only
Club.
one that I didn't think made sense though.
What's that?
I didn't see the whole Miz interaction, so I can't speak too much on that. But like with
Right.
Mysterio, when he cursed him, it made sense. Okay, you're cursed, and then he goes out and loses the title.
Right.
When he cursed El Grande Americano, the original, might I add, the OG Americano, you just had the other guys show up.
Yeah,
like,
but
there was
listen,
no.
But here, Tyler. Here's the thing: is he cursed El Grande Americano, right? But he doesn't know, because when he cursed, he didn't just curse the original. He cursed the He's still El Grande Americano, right?
It was like an umbrella thing, like he cursed them both.
Yes. So picture a room full of Batmen. Like, I curse you.
That's one way of interpreting
Batman.
it.
I curse you, Batman. But it's like, which Batman do you curse? Do you curse Michael Keaton? Or do you curse Val Kilmer or George Clooney? You know what I mean? No, he meant, it was a broad statement. Like, just, I curse all of the Batman. Like, so yeah, all the El Grande Americanos. So, and obviously, Chad Gable didn't have a match. You know, like, it was Kaiser. And Kaiser lost. El Grande
per your
Kaiser.
example, I think
Yes.
Clooney was the one that got cursed.
Yeah, really. Anyway. Speaking, we'll get to that when I get to Raw. Oh my god. What else I want to bring up? Danhausen, Jade and Michin, and they had a contract signing between Randy and we saw Jade versus Michin. That's what it was, and a contract signing between Randy and the WWE Undisputed Champion for their WrestleMania match. And
That's this upcoming Friday.
yeah, we Oh yeah, they did highlight the contract signing. Yeah, that's right. But soon as it was like Cody and versus Drew, I shut it off. It's went right to bed. I was like, fuck this. I went right to bed. So
yeah, early night.
Yeah, early night. You know, I was pretty excited. Now let's get to Raw. Raw was very interesting. Damn, I just had all the highlights for Raw. Well, let's start off with Adam. Is it Adam Pearce? Right? I always get him mixed up. Adam Pearce is out in the ring, calls out Seth Rollins. You know, Seth. We don't hear any music hit. We kind of see a swarm of. Well, first we see a one guy all dressed in black standing on top of the announcer's table, and I knew, okay, this is Seth Rollins, and then all of a sudden, like, was it like 20, 30, maybe guys all dressed in black, ski mask, start swarming the ring. And now the crowd kind of got really excited, chanting holy shit, and I'm just like, oh my god, holy crap, they found a way to reuse the Retribution's gear. I was like, awesome. What do we do? We got 30 ski masks. I know. Just put them in a crate. We'll use them later. Trust me. But yeah, they storm the ring, and Adam Pearce is in there. He's a little overwhelmed. I didn't know if they were gonna like jump him, or I kind of didn't know what their intentions were at first. And then they start doing this. I thought of the scene in Batman Begins when he's like, they're all dressed as goddamn ninjas, and he starts slicing the arm, with the knife, and they mix up, and they change positions, and Batman's trying to find out, Christian Bale's character is trying to figure out which one is Ra's al Ghul. Do you guys remember that scene in Batman Begins? It's crazy, right? Or because we see. Well, I'll get to this. So yeah, we see the Vision come out, which again, I brought this up before. We know Seth Rollins has beef with the Vision, but like he has beef with like the old division, the members who aren't there right now, the members who are out injured. You know, that'd be like if Edge came back and started beefing with Judgment Day now. Like, I don't know. I guess we're just kind of filling the
Paul Heyman's still there, so
Paul Heyman. Well,
by that token, it still somewhat loosely works.
They brought out Logan Paul and Austin Theory running their mouths, and I was just like, okay, so are we gonna get, like, obviously they're gonna get their asses handed to them, right? Like, for the love of God, that's what we all want, right? We want to see them get beat down for once because they're really outnumbered. And you could tell which one Seth was, because when he took off the mask, you could tell, because his was the only mask with the mouth was covered, and that's because of his beard, you know, so they wouldn't see the beard, because nobody else had beards. There was definitely a guy who was like 300 pounds. Now, my guess is like they called up maybe some guys from NXT who were free for the night, or maybe some guys from Seth Rollins' wrestling school who were free, you know, or just wrestlers in the back. You know, I don't know, maybe a combination of all three. I don't know, maybe Seth Rollins' cousin was there. Who knows? I don't know. But then they do this, you know, thing before they don't get their hands really on the Vision. They just do this ninja vanish. And it made me think of, you guys ever watch, like, the Ninja Turtles back in the 90s? They do the, Ninja Vanish. And they just,
everybody's been dunking on it, but
yeah, people have been dunking on it. When it happened, I got excited. I did, because I was like, ooh, what's happening? I had flashbacks, remnants of, like, I'm not gonna say Retribution, but like when NXT invaded, you know, Raw, and they attacked, you know, John Cena, and I think it was Punk when he was the Straight Edge Society. Just an overwhelming number of superstars that just, we were like, who is this? Who is this? You know, like, what's the big reveal? And the reveal is just...
I can take you back further than that.
yeah, oh, for sure.
When I first saw it, it made me... First thing I thought of when I saw a bunch of masked hooded people run up to the ring,
yeah,
it made me think of WCW, when all the fake things ran up on the NWO.
Yeah.
Not saying it was the exact same thing, because at that time it was a whole squad of NWO people, and a bunch of fake things were rushing the ring, and the NWO was fighting them off and knocking them off one by one. And then one Sting got in the ring, Buff Bagwell at the time turned around, punched that Sting no-sold it, then took off the fake Sting mask to reveal that it was really Sting underneath, and then Sting took out Bagwell and then started whooping the whole NWO. So not exactly 100% same thing, but still in that same vein of concept of a bunch of fakes and the real one somewhere hidden in the midst of it. So, I mean, see all these people dumping on it and talking about, it's the stupidest thing ever, it's the dumbest thing ever. I'm like, y'all would have lost y'all shit when the fucking fake Sting thing ran up on the NWO back then if y'all think this is dumb. Like, this has been done before. Visually, okay, it may not have been the coolest looking thing watching the dudes shuffle around and shit like a deck of cards or whatever, but it got the point across. He's hiding within the crowd. And I kind of like the concept of Seth having this masked army of minions to play mind games and fuck with the Vision. I think it's cool. I want to see where it goes. I don't know if this is a one-time thing or if this is going to do this repeatedly, but I think it's a cool concept and a way for one man to fight a battle against an entire crew of people. Because Seth ain't exactly got no friends. Because remember, before he got kicked out of the Vision, he was doing dirt to everybody else,
right,
as a part of the Vision. So just because he's back and he's a babyface, he doesn't exactly have allies. Just because LA Knight has beef with the Vision as well, I don't think he's exactly going to align himself with Seth and be like, bygones are bygones.
Right.
So one man has to fight a whole clique. Seth he took a page out of Sting's book. I'm okay with it.
Yeah. I like to see how it's utilized from here on out. I'm intrigued by it. and where Seth goes for WrestleMania as well. Whether there's buying time until maybe Braun Breaker can come back, or because I really believe we're going to get I'm going to roll into it here, the Usos. I believe we're going to get the Usos versus Austin Theory and Logan Paul for the tag titles. We get the Usos interviewed backstage. Jay says he doesn't care about Seth, and that Logan and Austin are all the same to him, and they all got receipts coming. He asked about CM Punk's comments toward Roman Reigns last week, and Jay says he has nothing to say about Punk, but Jimmy cuts in and says maybe they do, and he has them re-enter the arena, so they turn around and come back, which I thought was funny because they came, they bitched, then they were like, we're leaving. I'm like, so what, you show all the way up here, you only gotta stay for the first 10 minutes of Raw, then you're gonna fucking leave? Then we get Danhausen confronting the original El Grande Americano backstage. Danhausen says if he gets we did discuss this, a mask, yeah, he can make double the money, and tries to take a look at the mask. El Grande shoves him off and says, rule numero uno is to never touch a luchador's mask, which I think is kind of funny. So he eventually curses him, but yeah, we see how that unfolds later, because we only had 3 matches. We started off with the Women's Intercontinental Championship #1 Contenders Gauntlet match. That's a fucking mouthful. That included Lyra and Io, and then it was, I believe, Io and Raquel. Or no, yeah, was it Io and Raquel? And then Io and Ivy Nile? Or and Asuka was it? And then because then we got Bayley, and then Ivy Nile, and then Bayley and Asuka, which I was very surprised that Bayley, went through all that, and then she even went through Asuka, because I thought Asuka for sure would have got her. But yeah, we got Bayley with the rose plant for the win. Now we're gonna be booking Bayley versus AJ Lee. I'm all for it. Unless the IC title changes between now and then, it's always possible. I believe it. It could happen now.
Next week on Raw, so.
Oh, that's not for at WrestleMania. That's on.
No, it's not.
Ooh, that's not good. That's not good.
Next week on Raw.
Ooh, so you know what? That makes me think that Bayley's gonna win it, and we could possibly see Lyra versus Bayley for the IC title.
Yeah, definitely.
You don't think so? You don't think with
no?
Oh,
there's no way they had AJ Lee just win that title, just for the Raw after to come out and say, "I'm going to be the fighting champion. There's a bunch of women I want to face, so bring it on." And then her first title defense, she loses.
Shit happens. Yeah, well, you know what? No. If she gets screwed by Becky Lynch, I could see AJ Lee getting screwed over by Becky Lynch. That's the only way, dude. That's the only way it'll be
see Becky
satisfying.
Lynch showing up, but I don't think she's going to cost AJ the title.
I would think so.
I don't think they did all this just to have her not even be champion a month.
I could see Lyra screwing over Bayley.
No, I can't see that.
Because I mean, Bayley cost Lyra multiple attempts at getting the title back from Becky Lynch the first time she had it.
Sure.
So this is good.
I was going to say, yeah, sure. If she's still harboring some, those negative feelings all this time, then that could happen. And if that's the way you want to get to a Bayley Lyra possible WrestleMania match or something like that, then yeah,
right.
I can see that happening. I definitely don't think this Bayley AJ match is going to be just a clean 1v1.
Mm-hmm.
The way Lyra kind of looked at Bayley in the post match interview, it was like significantly later in the night, and they're still in their attire and everything, which blew my mind. But that's nitpicking.
Right.
Yeah, it just has me thinking that Lyra is still harboring, and she's just waiting. She's just lying in wait for that moment to screw Becky out, because she's been, through Becky's multiple I keep saying Becky. Holy shit. Bailey's multiple personalities and all that stuff. Like she's been put through the ringer with Bailey. And I think it's going to come due any day now, any week now.
We'll see, man. We'll see how this pans out. I hope I'm right. You guys are all wrong. I hope so. So I can just come back next week and just shove it in your face.
That wouldn't be nice.
Go fuck yourself.
All right. Okay, next match we got Penta, the Intercontinental Champion, versus El Grande Americano, Kaiser El Grande Americano. Penta wins with a springboard Mexican Destroyer. I'll tell you what, I love Penta's fucking entrance, man. Like, it's like when you create one on 2K and you like use all the pyro for the ramp, use it for the entrance. You know what I mean? Like in the ring, it's like, yeah, I want to max out pyro. I think that's crazy because do you guys recall when there was a time when we just didn't do pyro period for a long time unless it was a big pay-per-view because of the budget?
Yeah.
Do you guys remember?
I feel
that?
like it was just leading up to the pandemic and then through the pandemic.
Yeah,
because then they were stuck in the performance center and you can't do a whole lot there.
I think that's roughly when they got rid of. Remember when they would open the show and then you welcome to Monday Night Raw, pa 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 pa, like all the pyro would hit. Like SmackDown would do the same thing. I remember going to live shows. And, I put my fingers in my ears because I knew that it was coming. They're like, oh, we're going to start the show in 3, 2. And then, it would do the opening. You would see the theme song. And, like, it would do the... I miss those days. And then, the music would get you up and roaring and going. And then, it would hit the pyro. But now, Tyler, now we have... Oh, here comes Penta without his makeup on, walking into the arena.
Yeah.
Here's the Wyatt Six walking in with no makeup on into the arena. Here's Rey Mysterio completely with no fucking mask at all, walking into the arena. Like, it's like, here's somebody walking into work out of gimmick. Like, could you imagine if they did that back in like the 90s or 80s? Just like,
It would have been a rough reception to that.
Right? Here's Goldust.
Shenanigans.
Here's Goldust. Here's Sting. Like, here's the Ultimate
Who the
Warrior.
fuck is that guy?
Right? Like, here's the Ultimate Warrior. Here's Vader. Here's Kane. Right?
Kane, they did Kane right. They did right with that whole unmasking situation.
Damn.
I think that was a really well executed storyline.
Anyway. Moving on.
I do agree that he does have a pretty awesome entrance. Up until he gets in the ring. Like, I don't think you need more pyro in the ring. I think the laser show does its own. It's justice on its own. So, like, more pyro in the ring is like overkill.
Mm-hmm. So we get what do we get after this? Oh, we get a Stephanie Vaquer and Liv Morgan promo package. There's a lot of subtitles, which I think they need to do more of, because there's a lot of wrestlers who speak different languages, speak Spanish, and sometimes I'm just like, what? Because I was watching, I could understand like 80% of Penta's promo, because then it was just all Spanish, and I'm totally fine with it. And sometimes they put the subtitles, and I like when they put the subtitles, but I guess it's easier for them to do it when it's a promo, let alone a live one. Live ones I guess are a lot harder to do, but who knows. So after that we get Liv Morgan in the clubhouse, and she said at least she has friends, and after what she did, they're gonna fight to get Raquel back in the IC title picture. Dom storms in asking if anyone's seen Finn. but none of the Judgment Day has seen him. Dom says he has to go to the ring, but he has something to get off his chest. And then that's when we get the Dirty Dom in the ring, calling out Finn Balor, which I kind of knew it was going to happen when he called out Finn, because Finn came out to his own music. He didn't come out to the Judgment Day music. And I thought it was also weird that JD McDonough didn't come out with Dom. So I was like, okay. They played JD's part pretty well, because JD was kind of torn, like where to go. And then, he chose his side. Everybody does that. You always have that third guy that kind of chooses, what side he's going to be on when there's a split in the stable. Like when Triple H gave that thumbs down to Batista. Batista chose to go with Triple H and take out Orton. When people got kicked out of the NWO. One of my favorites is when they, I think it was Booker T, when Shawn Michaels kicked him out. You're the problem, and he super kicks him in the face. There's just some that when they kick out a member, and the other person sticks with it. Recently, we had the Vision, Bronson Reed. After Braun Breaker made that first attack, Bronson, we saw Paul Heyman wasn't all about that shit, but Bronson went full heel. He went full in, man. I'm buying what you're selling, Braun. So, where am I going with this?
I went off the rails.
Yeah, I went off the rails, man. But it stirred up so much. So we saw this building for quite some time. It's just now we're gonna get Finn versus Dom at WrestleMania, I believe, but not for a title, which I kind of would have liked to see for the IC title. But I guess to put Finn from chasing the world title to immediately going to the, well, if you can't win this one, go right to the second best. I guess that would have been a little
right.
Left some sour taste in some people's mouths, but I'm all for it. I mean, there's enough story there. We don't need a title involved anyway. Some of these stories are good enough that we don't need titles involved. Dre, I don't know. Do you want to add anything to this Judgment Day breakup at all before we move on?
As far as head, I mean, we all knew it was happening. It was just a matter of when they finally pulled the trigger on it, and we're likely leading towards Finn and Dom at WrestleMania. So, I mean, I don't really have much to say on it now. It just depends on where they go from here and how they're gonna build this up. Because, like I said, they just basically finally pulled the trigger on the thing that we've all saw coming for a while now. And my interest is more so not necessarily in the match itself, because I'm sure the match is going to be good, but what are they going to do with Finn after WrestleMania? That's where I'm more interested in, is because the immediate future is pretty well laid out and pretty predictable. Finn's going to want to get his lick back. He's going to challenge Dom. He may get jumped for a couple of times. Eventually, they're going to make a match for WrestleMania, probably. They'll have a match. My guess is Finn will probably win the match.
Mm-hmm.
But then what?
Right.
Then what? Exactly. The fall from grace. Yeah, exactly.
It's hard to figure out what then what is too, because like the championship pictures right now are just so freaking loaded.
Mm-hmm.
Right, and it's not for the Intercontinental title because they gave it to Penta. So
right,
it's not like Finn's going to come out of this, with an IC title run or anything. It's just he's going to come out and then he'll be on his own to find his path without the Judgment Day, which could make for an interesting story depending on how they go with it. The guy who's made enemies of practically everybody for the last 4 years finally gets his comeuppance, gets his revenge on those who did him wrong, and now is out there on his own.
Man, that sucks
Do
when
they stand him on his own, or do they link him back up with like a Damian Priest? You know, does Damian Priest, like his old friend, come to him in his time in need or whatever? I don't know. But like I said, I'm more interested in what happens after this feud than what's going on with it right now.
Mm-hmm.
I'm glad that Finn is, that they turn a babyface, because I thought this has been a long time coming, but we'll see.
I think they started planting the seeds for it at, what was it, NXT Homecoming? As far as I can recall, that's when they first introduced him to his music again. Up to that point, it was just all Judgment Day.
Mm-hmm.
And then, I think he got, a little bit of a pop off of that, and then they just, kept running with it here and there, planting the seeds along the way.
I think it was more or less, Tyler, it made me feel like they were testing the waters, hey, is Finn hot, on his own? Let's test the waters, let's bring back the old theme, see how the crowd reacts. Because Finn's music is one of those, that's the type of, his gimmick and his music, fans get involved. The raising of the hands, the music, everything. He has a good gimmick, a singles gimmick, the demon. Great gimmick. So I guess for me, it was they were reaching out to see if it's still hot. And guess what? I feel like there's some heat there.
Yeah.
Dre, you were right, man. Dre, you were right. This guy's been pissing so many people off for years, and now it's going to bite him in the ass because you got no fucking friends left, man. Seth Rollins has done the same shit. You piss off enough people on the roster, it's damn, hey, who do we put you with? Who wants to be your friend? Ain't nobody want to be your friend. Unless you're going to be friends with fucking Cody Rhodes having some Wheatley whiskey or some Terramana, and you guys can get over your shit.
That would be terrible.
Isn't that Wheatley
so
whiskey? Is that what he has? He brings to the table? Because The Rock always brings Terramana. And says, well, we're going to have a few drinks, and we're going to forget about me beating the shit out of you, making you bleed outside in the rain next to the bus. Beat your ass. Oh, yeah. A few Terramanas.
I think that would actually hurt Finn.
You think?
I mean, I know you're not saying it literally, but if you tried pairing Finn and Cody, I think it would hurt Finn more than it would do anything.
Yeah, you can. I don't honestly know where we go with him. Let's move along here. After Judgment Day, we get a little backstage segment with Javon Evans. Which Adam Pearce tells me is off for the week, which I thought was funny. So it's so wait, you're telling me I flew here, got a hotel, rented a car, drove here, ate your shitty food and catering, got my gear, and I got backstage, and you're going to be nah, bro, you have off today. And you know what, Tyler? This has happened to me on a Saturday you know what I mean? I've gone all the way to work, I clock in, and then they're yo, we don't need you today. What the fuck? But that's not my point. My point is, we did get a little scene here with Kofi Kingston and Javon Evans. And I know Xavier Woods is injured right now, and obviously Big E is no longer part of the New Day, and I know the New Day were heels. But where do we go with Kofi? What do we do with Kofi? And I think maybe for a little bit, pairing him with Javon Evans and making Kofi a face again would be pretty damn cool. Because, you know what? I was when he was I see a younger me and when I look at you. And I was yeah, you know what? I kind of see it too. I kind of see it a little bit too.
Right.
He's he said, doing moves and stuff that nobody else was doing. Really flash in the pan kind of stuff. And I was damn, dude, that's kind of true. But, it did take Kofi quite some time before he got that WWE title win. But he had a hell of a career along the way. But,
yeah, but the problem is nobody thinks that Kofi was talking to Javon for
good reason. Yeah, I know. That's the thing is that's what I'm hoping. I'm being hopeful, man. That's what it is because I know they don't have anything for Kofi because if not, then what? Kofi just is a dick by himself. He's just a heel. So
he's not. He's not by himself. He does have Javon. I mean, not Javon. He's got Grayson Waller storyline.
Dude,
Grayson's very much a heel.
that's how relevant Grayson Waller is, because I totally forgot that he was still part of the New Day somehow. Part of it. I don't know. It's to some capacity.
Honorary New Day.
Yeah, like
He's with them. I don't consider him part of the New Day. He's just with them. He's a tag along.
No.
He's not to them what Sami Zayn was to the Bloodline.
Yeah.
I wouldn't. If this was the end of the New Day, I would not be mad at all. If this is how you disband the New Day, I get it's one of your longest running, probably in contention with the Usos, longest running tag teams. You know what I mean? I get that. But I think they've been, I don't know, useless for a while now. I don't know. Like, it sounds brutal. I at one point in time, I enjoyed them. Like, they were entertaining to watch. Sometimes they got on your nerves. But, like, it just feels like the past year has just been a whole lot of nothing sauce. And it's like you're trying to force them into storylines that aren't making sense, and they're not, gaining traction. Go ahead.
They blew the best storyline that they had for him, the most interesting thing they had given him in a while, with all the heat they had on, from turning on Big E, and then they didn't even capitalize on it.
Nope.
Right.
Like, the best opportunity they had, and they did nothing with it. And I mean, and I'm kind of with y'all as far as, the New Day coming to an end. Your idea about Kofi serving a bit of a mentor role to Javon, I'm not entirely opposed to that.
Right.
It's just something that it's going to have to be a slow burn.
Yeah. And if that's what it takes.
Now, most people are still viewing Kofi as a heel. And that him trying to talk to Javon was him trying to convert Javon to being a heel, to trying to be, get him, come to the dark side proverbially.
Sneaky.
Right. But if you do it like over the course of a few weeks or whatever, where Javon is out there and Kofi's watching and just giving him advice and just genuinely being neutral or being friendly to him, and not doing anything heelish, then over time the fans will start to warm up a bit to Kofi. And then, especially if he's like, kind of distancing himself from Grayson Waller, like Waller's asking him, what's up? Like, nothing, man. That's the way that you can kind of facilitate that turn, is Grayson Waller still being the heel, questioning what Kofi's doing, and Kofi, maybe having a crisis of conscience or whatever, just like, what? Like, I like the kid, I see myself in him, and I just want to help him out or whatever. And Grayson's like, help him out so we can stab him in the back, right? And Kofi's like, yeah, sure. But not really.
Yeah, I just thought...
Once Xavier comes back, Xavier could come back full heel, right. And then that's when you can really get into the split between them with, something of Javon caught up in the middle or whatever. So, yeah, the storyline is there. You just got to take your time with it.
Yeah, and I thought the promo, like, not promo, but, like, the just the way Kofi was, I felt like it was genuine. And it was, like, he was being legit. He was being serious. I didn't think he had bad intentions the way he was speaking to him. But we'll see how that all pans out, man.
But he did say something about, you need to have allies. You need to have people to watch your back.
Yeah, that too. I was like,
So that's a little bit.
It is true, though.
It's basically saying, like, you should get down with us in the New Day because we'll have your back, but we're dicks. We're heels.
Yeah.
If it was more of just a mentoring thing, that would be a bit more babyface.
Last week we got a tease of Obafemi versus Rusev, so we got that match this week. It was alright. I mean, it wasn't bad. It just sucks that this is what Rusev's been doing since he's been back. I think the most interesting thing since he's been back was face Obafemi, because he didn't have a long run in the Rumble. I think it was like 5 minutes, not even.
Yeah.
And he really hasn't done much since he's been back. So.
Now, see what Michael Hayes said about Chelsea Green that pissed everybody off needs to be applied to Rusev. That's more accurate.
Yeah. Yeah, I
Guys
absolutely
who were
agree.
the stars, and then people who were there to make the stars look good. Rusev is the latter. He's there to make the others look good.
Well, and I had said that to Wayne too. Like after the match had finished, and I was like, okay, so how long of putting guys over before it pays off for Rusev? And then to that point, what belt does it pay off for him? You know what I mean? Like I don't know that he's like World Heavyweight Championship. I think he could be a higher caliber than IC for real.
Only thing higher caliber than IC is world champion. And honestly, to
Well,
me,
United States.
is that higher, or are they on the equal level?
I would
Both
put
mid-card titles.
Yeah, I would put North America, the United States Championship a little bit higher than Intercontinental, because that's the one that's like constantly defended. Where the Intercontinental is just hell. Well, no, then that would defeat the purpose.
Maybe right now, the U.S. title has a bit more shine than the IC title, but ain't nobody had a 600-day run with the U.S. title like Gunther did with the IC title.
True. Very good point.
So, and to me, that's my opinion. I honestly don't see Rusev as anything higher than mid card at best. I think right now he is an enhancement talent. Again, like Michael, he said, he's there to make others look good.
Right.
And how long is he going to have to do that before he gets something? I don't think he does. Honestly, it sucks to say it, but I just don't think it's there. Until the fans organically get behind him enough to make them want to invest in him, I don't see it happening. He'll probably be this way for years or however long his contract is. Maybe they renew it, or when the contract's up, they just say they cut him.
Later, Gator. Yeah, later, Gator.
Rusev walks off mad as hell, like, I came back to this motherfucker just for nothing. Maybe so. But you weren't doing shit in AEW either.
True. Yeah, that's a good point.
At least he ain't doing much now, but at least he on TV. At least he working matches.
Yeah, you can say that much.
So let's get.
I mean, you're getting more viewers than you were with AEW.
Right.
So.
Maybe they use him to branch out to some of the other brands. Like maybe he gets a run down in AAA. Maybe he does some work with TNA or something of that nature. But as far as main roster, I don't see anything above the mid card for him.
I'll give you TNA because I was thinking like NXT, but that's like he'd just go in there and dominate.
That would be arguably that he could maybe go down there and mix it up with some NXT people. Yeah, a little bit, run a feud here and there, but generally speaking, most people will look at NXT as being a downgrade from the main roster.
Yeah, unless he goes down there to help bring up guys or put guys over that are getting ready to come to main roster.
Yeah,
I mean
that's
that
what he
would be
do.
the only. Yeah, that would be the only situation I could see it. Them using him there. Other than that, it just doesn't make sense.
Right, and if he does, and that's exactly what I would see him doing. He's going down there to help get up and coming guys over that are on their way up. But then at that point, now he's the main roster guy losing the NXT guys. So
Yeah, it'd be significant spiral for him.
Yeah. Let's get to the main event of Raw. The Usos want Punk to apologize, so Punk comes out expecting a lot of heat after what he said last week about burying Roman next to his dad. Punk grabs the mic and says he wants to defend this title because he wants to be a fighting champion, and it calls himself to anyone to face and level up. Anyone who he faces to level up. If you want to come at him, you have to step up in the ring and on the mic. or he'll leave you slack-jawed like he did Roman last week. Punk says last week he lowered himself to Roman's level when he was interrupted by the Usos and joining him in the ring. Jay was all hyped up. Jay demands Punk apologize right now. Punk asks why Roman is still sending his cousins to do his heavy lifting. Jay gets in Punk's face and says that Roman didn't send anyone. They're out here by themselves, and they both demand an apology again. Jimmy says he has nothing to do with Roman, and this has to do with the respect because he's got a lot of respect for Phil. He speaks from the heart, and he doesn't run from any challenge. He calls himself the voice of the voiceless. And he can trash talk Roman all he wants. But last week he disrespected their late uncle who has no voice. So apologize, he said. Punk says Jimmy is right. Jay may be a bit hot, but Sika isn't here now. And while he isn't spiritual, they're all friends, and says he's sure they think he can hear this right. Punk says he didn't know Sika as well, but he trained under Alpha, and while he wasn't getting paid, Alpha always made sure he had gas money, he always had a hot meal. He grew up learning this Wild Samoans Academy, babysitting Lance in the back of his truck with Jamal when training. Punk says if Sika is listening, then he knows what plastic politician, two-faced, gaslighting son of a bitch Roman Reigns is. That's when Jay snapped and said, "This isn't funny. This isn't about Roman. They need to just hear the two words, I'm sorry." Punk takes Jimmy's hand and says he's sorry and does the same to Jay, before continuing to say he's sorry that Roman treated his family like garbage for years and never apologized. How Roman insulted his mentor and his father, one of his best friends, Dusty Rhodes, and called him irrelevant. He's sorry that Roman tricked everyone into thinking he gave a damn about any of them, because he did. And because if he did, he'd be talking to Roman in this ring right now instead of his young boys. And then Jay slaps Punk, who gets in his face before Jay shoves him down. Jimmy holds him back and escorts him back to the back out of the ring, and Punk makes it to his feet. So are we turning Punk heel slowly? What is this? Is Punk going to be the bad guy in this feud? Is Roman going to be the bad guy in this feud, or do we just not give a fuck and we just want them to tear each other apart with these promos? Is it? I mean, there's just two. Go ahead.
There was a line that Punk put in there that I'm not saying you did it on purpose, but that was left out, and it was CM Punk saying Roman goes and disrespects my best friend's father, the American Dream, Dusty Rhodes.
Right.
And he gets a pass for it, but I'm supposed to apologize for saying essentially the same thing about his dad. You know, that one kind of like made me think like, okay, you know, there's not as it didn't make me want to see an apology as much as it initially had when I first heard him say it. Because it's like, okay, well, you know what? That's a great point. Like, he got away with it. So, yeah, like he got a pass on that. But as far as the Usos go, that wasn't a pass. I'm just ready to watch them tear each other apart. Like, yeah, I'm just like, they're doing a great job as far as cutting these promos. Like, I know now they're in the singles phase of doing the promos. You know, Punk got his chance, albeit sort of with the Usos. You know, I would imagine on Monday when Roman shows up, he's going to get his time. Hopefully Punk doesn't intervene. You know what I mean? Like, I just want to see the single promo right now. And then we can get back into the face to face. You know, if that leads to brawl in action, obviously security would show up and separate them and all that whatnot. But yeah, I'm just ready for it. Like, just go time. Let's go time.
Once again, the WWE product is starting to get boring. here comes the bloodline to the rescue to keep shit interesting again, because this is probably the most of every storyline or feud that they have going into WrestleMania. This is clearly the best one they've got going, the most interesting one they've got going, because like you said, Punk and Roman have been absolutely cooking on the mic with each other so far, and even without Roman there, Jimmy and Jay held their own as far as keeping the intensity up in this segment here. And granted, Jay came in a little bit hot, but Jimmy balanced it out by being the more measured one, still angry, and obviously the better talker on the mic to really convey what it was all about and why, he needed to apologize. And then, he obviously Punk giving basically a non-apology does put him in a bit of a heelish role going into, at least moving forward in this feud. And he probably will. Fans are still probably going to cheer for him. But I think he will be the de facto heel unless Roman does something even more diabolical to up the ante and bring it back to more of a 50-50 split between the two. But right now, Punk is a bit more in the heel position. This could be used to facilitate him to making a full turn to heel, or they keep it in the gray area. But right now, it's the most interesting thing going, and everybody can't wait till next week when I believe Roman is going to be on Raw next week. Everybody can't wait till next week to see what Roman's response is going to be. And that's how you keep a feud interesting and keep it going for this long stretch we've got till WrestleMania. Is by having us each segment, having us in a position where we can't wait till next week to see what the next chapter in the segment is going to be.
Right. I think the only thing Roman has as far as ammo towards CM Punk is, aside from obviously AJ, is their dog that passed away. If he leans towards the dark side of any material available to him,
the bracelet comes back into play again. Ooh.
He could talk about his dead MMA career.
Roman already talked about the bracelet in their first exchange.
Yeah,
he did.
If Roman were to go for the dog, then that's probably about the only thing he could do to up the ante. But to Punk's line about, Roman got to disrespect Dusty and get away with it, but he disrespects Alpha and it doesn't, and he gets heat for it. Yeah, motherfucker, because Dusty died years ago.
Oh, good point. Yeah.
It had been much longer ago that Dusty died. That's been gone past, Alpha just passed, what was it, 2024?
Yeah, like a year or two ago. Probably not even 2.
I don't even think it's been 2 full years. Yeah, it's maybe been like a year and a half. But it's much more recent and much fresher in people's minds. So that's why,
it's
probably
it's more
heat.
Yep. Yeah. Okay, that makes sense now. When watching the interaction when he said it too, like that, it tickled my brain a little bit as to what you're saying, but I couldn't remember for sure at the time. So yeah, okay.
And also, he says that Roman disrespected his father and all stuff. I don't remember exactly what Roman said that would be construed as being exactly disrespectful. I remember the exchange that they had. Well, the only one that I remember that really stands out to me is Roman. He was praising Dusty in the exchange and talking about how, him and Dusty would sit down and have conversations and have talks about stuff when, he was down in NXT. And then Roman used Dusty to shade Cody because, who we never talked about? Or who Dusty never talked about? He never talked about you.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
And he talked about how close he was with Dusty and basically made it seem like he was closer to Dusty than Cody was.
Right.
And I'm more of a son than Dusty's. I'm more of Dusty's son than you are. That I don't see it where in that it was any disrespect towards Dusty. It was more he invoked Dusty's name to shit on Cody. Roman didn't say anything nowhere near so close of I'm going to bury you next to your dead father. Like, yeah, dude, like, yeah, cross the fucking line, dude. Like shit.
All right, because now that you're bringing that up too, like that interaction between Roman and Cody, it is, that's how it went down.
Exactly. It ain't like Roman said, "I'm gonna bury you next to Dusty" or anything. We're gonna erect a grave next to Dusty, and it's gonna say Cody. Like, god damn.
I will, I'll give Roman that prop right there. Is that he very easily could have.
Yeah.
But he took that situation and turned it into hey, I was the favorite son that wasn't a son, right, compared to the son that was a son.
Right. He used Dusty's name and flipped it on Cody. He didn't. Punk just said, "Fuck you and your dad. I'll both got to be 6 feet." Like,
yeah, that is next level. I mean, when you lay it out like that, that is next level heel shit. Like there's I don't know, there's no other way about it.
Right, like it was bad. Like it was bad because people were wondering if he went off script by saying that, because people couldn't believe that he would. It was actually said that he actually said that to Roman's face and got away with it. It almost made you. That's why people were like, "Yo, did he go off script? Was that an ad lib?" Like,
is this another impromptu pipe bomb? What's going on here?
Right, because people have it's hard to think that he really went to Roman backstage and said, "All right, I'm gonna say this. You okay with it?" And Roman was like, "Yeah."
I think I even asked Wayne that too. Like when I found out about it the next day, because like Wayne, like I'm in bed at an ungodly hour for an old man, and I caught it the next day, and I was like, "Do you think Roman signed off on that?" Like, because that just seems, and at the time I was still unsure about when Sika had actually passed, how recently it was. But even then, it still seemed like forbidden territory.
Right. So, I mean, it is what it is. And like I said, we're all basically just waiting to see how Roman's going to respond to it.
Oh, man. He better be working on his promo skills. You can't stutter. You can't miss a beat. Like
now, especially when you're going mic to mic with CM Punk.
Yeah, like you can't.
Roman's been pretty solid on the mic for a while now, at least since getting with Paul Heyman. And my opinion, when the first time they were face to face with each other, Roman ate his ass up. To me, like the first exchange when said, "I hate you," and Roman, WrestleMania is going to be the best day because I'm going to take your title, yada yada, and make you acknowledge me. That exchange, I thought Roman got the better of Punk. To me, Punk was a bit long-winded and such, and Roman pretty much conveyed. Roman had more aura with less effort than Punk.
Yeah,
he got his point across with half the words versus Punk. And that's not to say Punk ain't. Obviously, we know how good Punk is on the mic. We get all that, but Punk at times can be a bit long-winded and trying to get his point across.
I agree with that.
Roman is much more direct and straight to the point. I'm not concerned about Roman holding his own on the mic with Punk. Like, he gonna be good there.
Might as well see how this fucking pans out on Monday, because Roman's gonna be on Raw, so we'll see the response. I'm interested. All right.
In the meantime, you just get to see your champion Cody this Friday.
Oh.
Shiny, freshly polished belt.
Let's not all sound excited at the same time, guys.
Yeah.
I wonder what the reaction is going to be when this music hits. Is he still going to get a cheer, or is it going to be more of a lukewarm reaction? Or do we hear some audible boos?
Are we talking about once the music dies down? Because I mean, his is one of those that everybody can't help but sing along.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, obviously people are going to hit the whoa, but I'm curious to see like when his music hits. Are we gonna hear some audible boos in the arena? Are we gonna, once he gets to talking, what's the crowd reaction be? I'm curious for all of it, because we know we're gonna get him in the ring on the mic. We're gonna get that segment, and I'm pretty sure he'll probably come out before. I'm pretty sure he as champion will come out first. I imagine at some point Randy Orton will interrupt him, but when it's just Cody in the ring with the mic, from the moment his music hits till he's in the ring cutting whatever promo he's cutting, I'm curious to hear what the crowd reaction is going to be for all of it.
I have a curiosity, and it would be, does it stay a clean contract signing, or is there a scuffle? That would be my curiosity as well, on top of crowd reaction.
Clean.
I would guess that it's going to be a clean contract signing, because as of right now, they're both baby faces.
Right.
So there's no reason for them to fight each other or to get into a scuffle with each other. I think we'll get a tense exchange back and forth with them, basically saying, I'm not holding you back. I'm not holding back. I don't expect you to hold back. We're friends, but from now till WrestleMania, that shit is over.
Yeah. Curtains.
Yep. All right, guys.
I could see like the somebody saying something in an intense exchange and then a bitch smack or something like that along those lines. Maybe not full blown like RKO through a table or crossroads. And then that fuels something further. You know what I mean? Because you're gonna need it. You're gonna need something to like keep throwing gas on it.
Yeah, you will at some point. I just don't know that we're going to get it during the contract signing. But yeah, we will get there. Because we're just like when we got if you think back to WrestleMania 17 when we got Rock versus Stone Cold, it was a while before they actually came to blows going into that match. Remember, they just had the whole backstage segment where they were where Jim Ross was in the middle and they were talking to each other about what it meant to them, what it meant to be champion, and it was a little bit tense. Then I think Vince pulled the shenanigans where he made Deborah Rock's manager and all that shit. So they so built that one up to where they finally did come to blows after weeks of nearly getting there. So, I mean, we could go that route where it gets tense, they build up, and then, a week or two before WrestleMania, everything just hits a breaking point and they just full on fighting at that point.
Right. That'd probably be your best way to do it, too, in all honesty. Excuse me.
Yeah. All right, guys, let's wrap this up. It's late. I'm done. Ugh. We're going to review, maybe next week if you guys want to hop on. We'll do some Raw, SmackDown, some more trivia, more bracket. We still got a bunch of shit. We got 6 weeks. 6 weeks.
I like it.
And I'm down to record every week if you guys want to do it week to week. We'll swap out people. Let's get Carlos on here. Let's get Doyle on here. I know he's recording with another podcast tonight. I feel it.
Think he's cheating on PCW?
Yeah, man, he's out recording with another podcast, just, giving out all these WrestleMania predictions. Just, damn it, Doyle. I know you're listening.
Dare you?
You son of a bitch. All right, guys. Dre, you want to plug anything before we leave?
As always, Instagram.com/podcast championship wrestling.
Yeah, cool. Tyler, you want to plug anything before you leave?
Kindness. I want to plug kindness. There's far too much darkness in the world right now. We got to try and be kind to one another. So, smile, have a good day, help each other out.
It's
That's
difficult.
about it. That was perfect.
Yeah.
Perfect.
It's hard to do it when Cody Rhodes is champion, so,
Yeah.
Oh, well. Let's get out of here.
Go fuck yourself. You are the world's dumbest son of a bitch.
The fact that day in and day out, for almost 6 years, I have proved to everybody in the world that I am the best on this microphone, in that ring, even at commentary. Nobody can touch me.
You are not ready for Oscar!
Because the Street Profits are up and we want the smoke. You're next. Talk about your songs, talk about John 3:16. Austin 3:16 says I just whipped your ass. Well, let me tell you something, brother. New day!
Cream will rise to the top. Oh yeah, Macho Madness here.
Welcome to the Kevin Owens Show.
Lately, he just hasn't been very oozy.
Because I'm the Miz, and I'm awesome.
Those rotten bastards.
Bye-bye, bitch.